Hey, welcome to the Art of Relationships, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Another episode of the Art of Relationships show is coming to you right now, coming to you live. So hopefully everybody's going to be okay, letting people tune in a little bit. So we will be kicking this off real quick, okay? I need to adjust a few things. There we go. There, and we'll kick off the Art of Relationship show actually now, okay? So hopefully everybody's doing okay, and let's face it, I'm going to tell you, don't get married if this is going on in your relationship currently right now, or let's face it, there's some other stuff that's happening, and I don't want people to, get married assuming things are going to improve. And I'm going to touch on this in just 1 second, well, maybe a couple seconds, okay? Don't go anywhere. Going to play the intro. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the Art of Relationship show. Ooh, as I sort of catch my breath a little bit, or coughing. Hold on 1 second, okay? Excuse me. There we go. Hopefully everybody's doing okay this Wednesday. And, maybe a hook line, right? I don't want people to get married if, and I'm going to run down a bunch of stuff going on. And a lot of people might not even look at, they assume once we get married, everything's going to improve, right? Hey, Chauncey, Tracy, what's up? Cindy, Bethany, what's happening? I hope people are tuning in and joining in. So how many people, and I touched on, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a show on don't get married. And a lot of people are going to say, what? You're against marriage. No, I'm not against marriage. I'm against unhealthy, bad, unhappy marriages or relationships, okay? So I'm going to give you some tips. A lot of people are going to assume, it's a big wedding season. Let's be honest, right? April kicks off right here. And, there's a lot of people get married in the summertime, right? April, May, June, July, August, September. Even October is a big month now. So with a lot of marriages coming up, I do a lot of premarital counseling for couples. And most of those couples there's issues going on. They're wondering if they should get married, if they should wait. And it's rare I get couples coming in for premarital counseling. They want some insights, expectations to look forward to, or to talk about whatever. Everything's great though, but that is rare. Most of the couples I see, with premarital counseling and marriage counseling, let's face it, shit has gone sideways. I'm going to be honest, okay? Make sure you throw your comments down below, people, and your questions. It's a live Q&A, so it doesn't have to be about premarital counseling, about, getting married or, stuff going on sideways. Like last episode, there was quite a bit of feedback questions on how to heal after an affair. So whatever your questions are, I want to do my best to help you out. For those that do not know me, I'm Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, LPC, if you will, here in Metro Detroit, Michigan area. And I specialize in couples. I specialize in marriage, sex counseling for now, oh boy, almost 23 years, 22 and a half years, and counting. And I have a lot of grief and a lot of trauma experience as well. So I want to help as many people out there. And again, disclosure, this does not replace the actual professional counseling that I do. I also do coaching, relationship, marriage, couples coaching as well, that, does not follow the parameters of professional counseling under the licensing guidelines, if you will, okay? So throw your questions down below, and I'll do the best I can answer them, okay? So how many people maybe you got married, or, it's like, oh man, I wasn't ready to get married, but I got married anyways. You know what? I felt pressure from her. I felt pressure from him. Everybody assumes it's the lady in heterosexual relationships. It's the lady that is, pressing to get married. Not always. Sometimes it's the guy or, the man as well. So I want people to look at, I don't want people to feel pressured to get married. I don't want people to think or assume once you get married, all your problems, all your incompatibilities, all the issues will go poof, bye-bye once you're married. No, that is not true, okay? So I'm here to stack the deck in your favor to provide a healthy relationship, as I usually trip over my tongue as always, right? So that's where I want, hey, Bougie, what's going on Instagram? So again, throw your comments down below, people, and I want to do the best I can to answer them. And so, there's a lot of myths out there that assume that, you get married, all those problems will go away, right? All of a sudden, we're living together, or maybe you're engaged and not living together. And that's where I want people to be able, hey, Rhett, what's happening? Appreciate you. But that's where I want people to understand that, you're living together, which I promote, great, whatever works for you. And, you feel that once you get married, all the fighting, arguing that you have on a daily basis is automatically going to go bye-bye. You're automatically going to feel that you are more in love with each other once you get married. Now, I'm going to be honest, that can happen. Hold on. But those percentages are so low, okay? There's a magic wand. Once you get married, whoof, all the arguing, all the fighting stops, right? A lot of people, there are people that assume that's what's going to happen. I'm a realist, people, and I tell people, I'm direct. I have a lot of compassion, empathy. I talk about every episode, but I'm also direct and honest and legit. I do this because I actually care about the people I serve, and I try to help, okay? I don't want anyone miserable in an unhealthy situation, okay? So those that assume that if the constant arguing is going on, my suggestion is you get help professionally if needed before you get married. Or are you looking at your personalities just clash? And you're trying to, force someone to be who they're not. You're trying to, force each other. Now, everybody talks about communication issues, right? Woohoo, right? And I'm like, okay, I hear this every day. But I'm looking at specifically what are the communication issues. Are you arguing, fighting over the way you see the world, the way you want to live your life? One wants a kid, the other one doesn't. That's a big issue. It's not going to work. And automatically you get married, or we could also use this, not only if you get married, but what about living together as well? Do you, these same rules I'm talking about can apply to those that are thinking about getting married, absolutely. And also those that are thinking about or contemplating, living together, moving in with one another, okay? So that's why I want people to understand. And, these rules are not to, control or end all be all, but I want you to be wise, and I want you to be able to look at what is happening to help you live a better, happier life, before it goes sideways. I knew my husband for 1 week when he asked me to marry him. Lasted 47 years. Oh my God, phenomenal. Now, my question is that, and I hear stories all the time, they met for 1 day and they knew they were going to get married. I don't judge, not at all. But I'm looking at, it lasted 47 years, and I hope those 47 years were happy, healthy, not problem-free. Let's be honest, right? Nothing's perfect. Over 47 years, you're going to run into challenges. And, you said lasted 47 years. My deepest wishes, I don't know if your husband passed away or not, or, something else happened. But my deepest wish is, when you said it lasted for 47 years. So that's a long time. And I'm like, I ask people all the time, been together 50 years, 40 years. Are you happy? Do you still love each other? Do you still respect one another? Do you still, like each other? And because to me, that is more important than longevity. There's people that have been together, married together for 53 years I've dealt with, and they've been miserable, hate each other for 48 years. And I ask, why do you do that? That's why I want people to be able to stop and look at, am I ready to get married, or do I automatically assume things are going to change for the better once we get married? That's not going to happen, right? Well, there's a chance it will, but I'd rather, go with the percentages and look at what can be done to stack the deck in your favor to have a healthy, happy relationship that you can work together to, through challenges, through problems. And let's face it, that's what pulls. That what makes a decent relationship or marriage into a very good one or a great one, is how you work together through challenges, through problems. Because all the good stuff, that's easy. It's when the shit hits the fan, when the things are bad, when the things, you go through life challenges. One of you or both of you, I had, couples all the time that have lost jobs. Both of them has lost jobs from, at the same time. So finances are down in the toilet. People lost homes. People have endured numerous, miscarriages, stillborns. It's how I don't want bad things to happen, but it's looking at how you are able to work together, and that's what really works, and how I want you to look at that before you move in together or get married. Okay, so if there's constant arguing going on a daily basis, or more times than not throughout the week, and there's no resolve, I'm going to tell you, you're not ready to get married or live with one another, okay? Now, it's arguing that you don't spend enough time together, right? One wants more time, the other one doesn't. That still tells me maybe what you want in a relationship is good enough. That tells me you're maybe not ready to get married then, or live together, okay? Now, a lot of it, and I've done a whole episode on this, which you can check out on, YouTube at LoveGuruGreg. All my prior episodes, probably the easiest to find, are there. And also, any information, check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. And I do have self-help courses on there as well to help people out heal after an affair, reignite your relationship. And what I'm talking about now, premarital. Hey, Irvin, hey, what's up? What's going on? So, but, going back to potential, how many people look at the same thing, right? Potential that, when we get married, the potential that we're going to stop arguing will go bye-bye. When we get married, sex is going to be better. Great. You know what? When we get married, she or he's going to stop drinking so much or using drugs. Or, you know what? Once we get married, she's going to grow up. He's going to grow up and find a job and not have me support him or support her. There's so many potentials that, get played in the role when it's tied into married. All of a sudden we get married or move in together. It's like, poof, everything happens, right? That's why I don't want people to assume that this stuff is going to be a cure-all when you get married. So when you look at potential and everything else, good morning, how are you feeling? Better? I'm doing okay, man. I think so. I hope so. I always tell people to take a long road trip before they get married. You really get to know each other. And Marcia, I promote that. I always say that. You want to, spend a bunch of weekends together. You want to, and I promote living together before, married, that type of situation as well. But yeah, take a long road trip. That's a great idea. Or I tell people, if you're sick together and being together, you see each other at their worst. I don't want people to be sick, but you go through that when people, are puking, people have diarrhea, those type of situations, right? Marcia, no, I'm sorry, I said Maria. Marcia, I apologize for butchering your name. I misread that. Sorry about that. So, those type of things about, when you go through stuff, when you see each other at your worst, and I don't want that, that's when you have to look at, what, hey, we've been through this, we're able to handle it, we're able to, meet each other's needs when you're, when you're sick and you're, not feeling well. That's how are you there for each other in those times of needs. And like Marcia mentioned about a road trip, right? You go on a long road trip, there might not be a shower, you stink, all of those aspects, right? Do I still love this person even though they stink, they smell like ass, all those situations, right? So that's a good word of advice too, Marcia. Yep, long road trip. I usually tell people, are you spending weekends together overnight? Are you able to see each other, those type of situations, no makeup, maybe farting in front of each other, those type of aspects. Remember, throw your comments down below, people. I appreciate them. And it makes for a livelier show. And plus, some other people, let's be honest, some challenges that you might be going through might be something somebody else is going through or very similar. So your questions can also help other people out there, okay? So, looking at, constant arguing, that's going on, it's not healed, don't get married. You're looking at potentials, right? Potentials to change your mind. How many people, you're still in disagreement if you want kids or not, or one says, I want one kid, the other one wants 3 or 4 kids, and both of them are very adamant about that, then that tells me you're not compatible, and that's not going to work. So you're not ready to get married. And the other one thinks, oh, we'll get married and all those, then that person's going to agree with me, that person's going to agree with me. Don't do that. That's why I said about, the show on YouTube, I think Potentials Are Dangerous was the title of it. So you can, check all those out as well. So when you're looking at potentials and you're hoping major things change, the arguing. All of a sudden, we get married and our sex life might be a lot better automatically. Not going to happen. Or you are maybe worried about your partner that might be drinking too much or have maybe a substance issue. And all of a sudden, that's going to vanish once you're married or live together. That stuff needs to be taken care of before you move in together, before you get married, okay? I'm just telling you. I tell people you do what you want to do. I don't live your life, but I'm trying to, professionally speaking, help you out to stack the deck in your favor to have a healthy, happy, successful relationship. And success is not just based on longevity. I already said that. Like Marcia, mentioned earlier, take that long road trip, but you could be married for 50 years, 40 years. That doesn't mean you're happy together. So longevity does not always correlate to being happy, to having a successful marriage or relationship, okay? Now, what if one person wants to get married and the other one is against getting married but living together? What do you do then? And this is another situation I run into often. They're living together. One's assuming the other one's going to change their mind. Remember about potential, right? That tells me you're not ready maybe to move in together. You're definitely not married, looking to get married because one of you wants, or both of you want different things, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to understand, to be able to look at, if you are on 2 separate pages, one wants to live together and the other one, wants to get married and live together, great. But if you're hoping to change the other one's mind and they don't, and you're disappointed, that's on you. That tells me you have to look out what is happening, what is going on, And, what is really important to you? Is it really important that you get married? Is it really important to you not to be married? Or is the most important thing is that you love each other, or you want to be with each other? Right? A lot of people assume different things. My husband wanted 6 kids. Oh my God. No disrespect. I told him to have first 3, then call me and let me know how it turned out. So, yeah, no kidding, right? And if somebody wants, say both agree they want 4 kids, right? And they have 1 kid and they're looking at each other, forget that, we don't want it anymore, because it's a lot of work. Sleepless nights, especially, infancy stage, they're 100% dependent on you all through toddler age and everything else, right? But changing diapers, bathing, feeding, all that. It's a lot of work. So, you might look at each other. We want 4 kids. You have the first one or first 2, and your one's like, I'm done. And the other one still wants 2. Now, what do you do, right? And I've run into that, but they're already living together. They're already married in that situation. And now they're coming to me with hopes to have me change the other one's mind. I don't play that. I don't work that at all. So that's where I want people to understand what is happening, what's going on. Hey, David, what's going on? Kumar, what's happening? So that's, it's very difficult, right? It's not easy, not at all. So that's where I want people. Hey, Valerie, what's going on? Jeff Bezos, and I don't know if can you clarify what that means? I try not to pay attention to him too much. What's going on. But I think Jeff Bezos doesn't he have a girlfriend that actually went up into space recently, I think. But, Marsha, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Have an enjoyable day, okay? So, that's where I want to look at. You are not ready. Do not get married. Do not move in together. If you are thinking all the current problems that are going on are going to evaporate, are going to go away, that tells me you are not ready to get married at all. The constant arguing, going back and forth. If one is making all the decision making, and you're assuming that's going to change, you feel that you're not valued, that you're not respected, and you automatically assume, oh, that'll change when we move in together. That will change when we get married. Chances are it will not. I hope it does. But again, I'm going with the percentages that it won't change. So I want people to get married after those challenges, if possible, are resolved, or people reach out to see me. Like I said, check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. Check that out. Read a little more about me and some hopefully useful tips as well. So, and going back to, you're not ready to get married as well if, a priority. This is a huge thing. If one person, is complaining, you've been dating for a long time, you're living together and you're planning on getting married, that, we're going to reach out to Greg in April, we're getting married in June. And I'm like, I don't judge. I'm like, whatever I can do, right? So you have 2 months, month and a half before you get married, and you have some major issues going on, and one of you is contemplating if you're going to get married or not, okay? Or you're thinking about getting married, getting engaged. You're thinking about moving in together. This will help you decide if it's right for you or not. Again, if things are going sideways and you're feeling awkward now, do not live together. Do not get married, okay? You're not ready for it. I'm not saying don't ever move in together. Don't ever get married together. No. But that tells me you're not ready now. Now, there are definitive issues that I tell people that, compatibility, right? One wants sex once every 6 months. The other one wants it 2, 3, 4 times a week. And no, it is not always the guy that wants it more. Not at all. Or, again, we talked about kids just a couple minutes ago. One wants no kids, the other one wants 4 kids. Or one wants 1 kid, the other one wants 4 kids. That tells me you're not aligned. And there's going to be issues if one of you don't get your way. And that resentment will just build and build and build. Or another issue I run into is one wants to be a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home girlfriend, stay-at-home husband, stay-at-home boyfriend, that type of situation. And the other one doesn't want that, and they're hoping that changes. Oh, when we move in together, she'll get a job. When we get married, he'll get a job. Don't do that. Make sure, if that's what you want, and you're fighting and the other one doesn't want that, that tells me you should not be living together. You should not, definitely not be getting married, okay? Like I said, to me, it doesn't matter if you are married or living together. I want people happy. I want people feeling in love. Nothing's perfect, but how you challenge those issues. Now, if you are hoping that, that's going to change down the road, you want to make sure that changes before those times, moving in together, okay? So, or, definitely getting married. Now, another situation is about a priority, right? And going back to that, one person wants an hour of time together a week, not much at all, and the other one wants 20 hours together a week. That's a huge incompatibility, right? And looking at what's being a priority. I have a lot of couples that have been together for years, okay? Could be 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years. And for those 30 years, 20 years, whatever, it's always been an issue that one does not feel like a priority, that they are low on that list before their wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, husband's family. You get me? So if you're assuming once you get married or live together that all of a sudden you're going to become a priority above their family, you're sadly mistaken. Again, I hope that happens, but I'm going to tell you, don't take those chances, not at all. Because one person, if they're not making you a priority above them, and we all know, right? And step families, I talked about step families a lot on and off. They're different. The kids were there before you, so they should maintain a priority status. However, that doesn't mean they're a priority all the time. It's a lot more of a balanced give and take episode with step families. But if you're together, no kids, that type of situation, you've been together, say, a couple years, thinking to get married, all this stuff, and you're assuming once you get married or live together that you are going to be the number one priority to your partner, you're sadly mistaken. That needs to change before you live together or before you get married. And a lot of people will it's always been my mom. My mom's been my best friend. My mom's always been there for me. My sister, my brother. I'm not saying you don't love them, but there's boundaries. And what is it about you two against the world unless you both are okay with that? Meaning, you're okay not being a priority on the same level as your partner's mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, best friend. You get me? If you're okay with that, but I'm going to ask you, are you lying to yourself that you're okay not being a priority, or you're assuming that it's going to change? And I'm going to tell you, if that doesn't change before you move in together or get married, chances are that's not going to change. You're going to be fighting. You're going to be arguing. You're going to always feel this way. And then typically the one person that doesn't feel like a priority, doesn't feel loved, doesn't feel, they're low on the totem pole, if you will, in priority status, that they're not important. Hey, you don't ever talk to me before making a decision, but you talk to your mom all the time. You talk to your sister, and that goes on for a long time. A year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, people. And then you're wondering why your partner cheated on you, why your partner wants a divorce, why your partner wants to break up with you. You get me? Now you have to look back, well, they should have been okay with that. Or you're assuming they were okay about it but they weren't. Because somebody stops complaining about it or stops bringing it up as an issue doesn't mean they're okay with it. They might be a situation where they're looking at other alternatives. So if you are not putting each other as a priority above mom, dad, that type of situation, and I'm not talking being sick, ill, hospice. I'm not talking emergency situations. I'm talking in a general sense. That tells me you are definitely not in a situation to be married or to move in and live together. Unless you both are okay with that. That you're both okay with, your boyfriend is a mama's boy and, you're okay, his mom's always a priority above you. Or same thing, and your mom's you're a priority above your boyfriend. You both agree, and it works. I'm telling you, it works. But if you're hoping that will change, you're sadly mistaken. I'm going to tell you, you're going to end up being in my office, or maybe virtually. You're gonna be in a rough situation, and that's where I don't want that to be, people. I want to promote happiness. I want to be able to promote longevity and being happy, being together, being each other's, best friends if possible. Now, can we be everything to our partner? No. But do you feel loved? Do you feel respected? Do you feel, safe talking about everything and everything? And that's another sign, too, that tells me you are not maybe ready to move in together. Definitely not, looking at getting married if you are not able to talk about everything and everything. Meaning, parenting, maybe styles, what your view is on that. Definitely sex, intimacy. Your view, maybe finances, how you're going to work. One person wants one bank account for everything, and the other one is, no, we're going to have separate bank accounts. Those need to be ironed out before you live together and before you get married. I'm going to be honest, okay? So there's so many aspects. Not only that, what quality time, I mentioned that before. What quality time looks like for you both. Not only that, what each other needs when you are upset, when you're not feeling well. Like I said before, some people need a hug, reassurance, and the other one wants be left alone. It's understanding that. So if you're not able to talk about anything and everything, that tells me that's a sign you're not in a spot to get married or live together. As time goes on, I definitely want that to improve, right? Absolutely. Or why would you be together? You get me? Now, if one of you feels degraded, belittled, demeaned, talked down to, condescending language or tone, and you're assuming that's going to go away when you get married, when you live together, don't assume that. Make sure that is taken care of, that is healed, fixed, that challenge is no longer there anymore before you move in together or before you get married, okay? One person, looking at compatibility, right? One person's a couch potato, not an issue, and the other one wants to go a night on the town, 6 nights a week. And we'll go nuts sitting down watching movies, Netflix, or whatever. That's a compatibility issue, and you're assuming you're going to be okay with those differences. Some people are, very small percentages. Now you have to look at what is a good enough, margin, if you will, a good enough spot to be for both of you, if possible. And if you are assuming that you're going to work that out once you move in together or get married, that's a sad mistake. Don't do that, okay? So hopefully these tips you look at, if there's constant issues going on and your gut's telling you, man, I hope this changes, I hope this changes. You want to make sure it changes before you move in together, before you get married, okay? Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, viewing the show. Check out the easiest way to check out all the episodes is on YouTube. At LoveGuruGreg, you can follow me, like me. I post daily on Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook. Check them all out at LoveGuruGreg, and I'm very flattered and humbled for you to, follow along, to, watch, take your time. Your time's valuable. And I always want to fill it and give tips and suggestions that you can start putting in place now to improve your relationship, your marriage. And not only that, you're also promoting self-love and self-respect, okay? So again, my website, theartofrelationships.org. Check it out. And I appreciate everybody taking your time to, watch the show. I appreciate it. Peace and love to everybody out there. Take care, okay?